We will start now with our third day, exciting day with a lot of activities. We have like a mixture of small activities, but all the day we have different activities. But before we start with the official part, let's start with the energizer. Do we have Salome?
Yes, I am here.
Yeah. Okay. So okay.
So okay. Good morning, everyone. Okay. Good morning, everyone. My energizer will be very simple, but at the same time, it's hard to make with this whole group and online. So the rules are like this: we count from 2 to 23 because we are 23. We need concentration and attention because when I will start, for example, 1, another one will continue to 2, 3, but we cannot do at the same time. So if 2 participants will count at the same time, we will start again. But let's try to be on a first way, and if there will be another, let's have only 3 start and then continue the training, because I think it will be hard, but we have done it on the first. So let's start. Who will be first?
So first we need to have the microphone on, all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and just I'm seeing some messages in chat regarding the translation. Are you all having the translation, Leila?
I will start now. 1,
2, 3, 4.
From the beginning.
1,
3,
4, 5.
Okay, and it will be last.
No, we have time. Let's try several times.
Okay, 1,
3,
4,
5.
1.
Okay, and
2,
3, 4.
4.
Okay, if we have, it will be 1 and the last one. Let's start.
Okay.
Okay, 1,
2,
3,
4, 5.
No, it was good,
Okay.
but I think it's echo. 6.
Okay, thank you.
7,
8. 9. 10.
11.
12,
13.
14,
15.
16.
17,
18,
19.
20.
21,
22.
23. Great. Yeah. Thank you for the cooperation. Thank you, Saloma, for this interesting energizer. As you see, if we are focused in our job, we can do miracles. So this one, but yeah, it is very hard to do this exercise. It's this kind of energizer, especially when we are 20 and plus people. So thank you for this. Okay. We will,
Thank you.
before we start with the official part of the day 3, let's just quickly, I will ask you about the yesterday. What do you find? Do you remember something from yesterday, from the day 2? Any interesting moment, something that have you been like, has in mind something interesting? What about the activities? So yesterday was about the book 1. And what was the book 1? What was about?
Да, мы говорили о содержании, о социальных и финансовых навыках. Мы заполняли таблицу о том, сколько сессий, какие уроки содержатся и отводятся на отработку социальных навыков, сколько у нас отводится на отработку финансовых навыков, каких из сессий мы впервые обращаемся там, вопросам переработки прав и так далее.
Yeah, so yesterday in the book 1, we went through the contents of the book of social and financial education. We also worked with the assignment of matching the table. So basically taking the contents and matching them with the session names. And also went through the time of the suggested time and structure of the sessions. And yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Jamila. What else? Anyone else? Do you remember the session about choosing the track? That session was it is like a key session when we are delivering this curriculum, especially because after this session, the participants will be like in one way, employability, they will follow employability, or they will follow the entrepreneurship road. So that's why that session is very important and is one of the long-lasting sessions that we have in the Aflaton curriculum, in all Aflaton curriculums in general. So after that session, we continued with we started in fact with the book 2, and as a homework, you was like to do, like to search the book and to see the elements there, what is the content and what you have in that book in general. Did you have any chance to go through the book number 2 and to see what's in the book number 2? And did you find it useful, something from some elements from there, or the contact sessions in general? Yeah, today we are going to continue with the book number 2, and yeah, let me share the screen about so we are going to continue with the employability skills. So after the choosing the track, the participants or the children that you are working with after several sessions in the first book, social and financial skills, they have to make a choice. And that choice will be either to follow employability track or entrepreneurship track. And this is based on their personal strengths and their goals. So during the year or during the training, you will work with your participants in order to make them comfortable to choose which track they want. And the idea of this, when we are doing this employability skills manual, is that we will continue to develop core social and financial skills concept, but facilitator now will be helping them also to turn learning into the action. So not only to learn something, but also to go a step further and to go in the action. So how to do things, what concretely to do, and to describe the ways how we can do it. And the ultimate goal is to gain employment. So like to be the gainful employment. This book number 2, the employability skills book, or the track, who is already chosen, it's going beyond the basis of job searching. It's not only about how to search the job on the workplace skills, but it's developing those workplace skills. And this including as well understanding of the rights, identifying personal strength to correspond with the work possibilities. What are the options in general? The communication and how to use effective communication is key here. Also, there are a lot of sessions who will help you or your participants about the effective communication and how to manage time properly. So this is something that is employed in all our sessions within this curriculum. Also, within this curriculum, participants will gain the skills, knowledge, confidence needed to search for work or to obtain the work that they want. But that's need to be in line with their personal goals and interests as well. The other thing within this employability skills curriculum or part of the AFLA Youth curriculum is that the participants will learn how to present them well and how to become a successful employee, colleague, or manager in the work. This curriculum follows the same route or the similar route as the social and financial skills portion, and it's encouraging participants to from the awareness raising for certain issues by developing their skill set, but also by helping them to empower, to discover their personal interest, but also to do the analysis, what they can do better on how they can become better employee. And this is related to see all the job possibilities in the market, but also it is linked to their goals that they have as an individual. Curriculum, the book number 2 is having those 10 sessions, and if you analyze for this all those sessions, you have the same structure that it was given. So you have the orientation, we have the making choice, so types of jobs that are in the market, and we are empowering our participants how to make the right choice. And the choice need to be based on information and in research. All the curriculum, all the activities in the curriculum are about that. So how to make people making a right choice. And then the other activities or the other session are about recognizing the skills for success in the workplace, what we need to be successful in our workplace. Again, all the sessions in the Aflatun curriculum, in all curriculums, are regarded to the rights, related to the rights and responsibilities. But specifically now here in this curriculum, we are working and we are dealing with the rights and responsibilities in the workplace. So what are other rights and the responsibilities? Again, we are going deeply and we are searching what are the planning, how to plan and how to set goals, how to search for a job. But even more, we are just in next sessions, like from session 7 to the end, we are concentrated how to do some more practical thing. We said that the idea of this curriculum is how to make learning to turn into the action, into the real life. So very often, the children, they are finishing with their education, they are finishing with for example, secondary education, but still they don't have the skills how to write the CV, for example, how to write a motivation letter, how to be prepared, and what is the key essential, what are the essentials of job interviewing, for example. And those skills can be and will be developed through this curriculum. We will be again today focused on several of those from those sessions, and we will analyze, for example, what is the proper way for CV writing, what is the proper way or suggested way for motivation letter writing, how you need to be prepared, for example, when you go for the job interview. And again, we are not saying that we know everything. For example, CV writing or motivation writing is not a science, so it's a skill. We need to empower our children or our participants how to get the best from the correct situation, or we need to prepare them what are the most common answer, or what are most unique or more appropriate answer when you go to the interview for a job interview. The last part is about identifying challenges and solutions and how to create my picture for my work, what need to be, what are the puzzles for my work, for my future work in general. because I'm only talking, I'm not aware about you. Are you listening me well? Okay. Okay, thank you for that, for the feedback. Okay. So during this session, we will have to work in the group. Several times we will go in the breakout rooms, and we will have the chance to discuss more about the concrete session. Again, in general, through this curriculum, the hope is to bring more people, more young people into the workforce in a meaningful way. So we know that in the future, every young people wants or probably will get a job, but we are trying to, through this curriculum, to bring more people, but also to bring them in the meaningful way. So to be empowered, to know their rights, to know how to get the job they are wanting as well. The overreaching goals of After Youth are to inspire participants, to improve accessibility to the local labor markets, to increase financial independence for younger generation. And this is maybe the key word, especially the last one, increasing the financial independence, because we are aware what that means. If you are financially independent, it's more likely you will finish maybe your faculty, or you will have more success in life. But not only this part. Accessing to the health care and accessing to not be discriminated, for example, is more likely to be if you are financially more independent. During this session today, you will need to have the book number 2 close to you, because very often we will go and we will rely to this book and to the session. So we will explore several sessions. I believe that you all have the book number 2. If not, if someone is not having the book number 2, we will show now how you can find and where you can find. You know, it's in the Aflaton partner platform. So as soon as you get there in the platform, if you go to the session, you will find the book number 2. And the book is always translated in English and in Russian language. For the next activity, this is like a group work. You will be assigned to the breakout rooms, and you will go and work in the breakout rooms. What is the idea for this concrete session? So this here, when you go to the breakout room, you will have to go to the platform and to download this framework. It's called Employment Skills Curriculum Framework. I will show where is this framework as well. But in general, what is the idea? You have the session number for all the 10 sessions. You have this part here, overall outcome, and you have what are the specific learning objectives. And for lesson 1, we have given everything. So we have session number and title. So number 1, orientation session, what's out there? This is the title. Then you have the overall outcome, and you have the specific learning objectives. But you will see that in some parts, there are something that is missing. And the part that are missing, it's your job to find what is missing and to put in the right way and in the right position. So again, I will share the screen just to make sure that you are seeing the document. Okay, so this is the document that you will need to see, to download within your groups, and to decide which part is missing. And the part that are missing are down. If you scroll down, go through the end, you have all the part that should be placed somewhere else. So within the group, just discuss and think about that. What is where should be? For example, number 5, my career planning and goal setting, where should be here? And maybe this is the easiest one because it's like with a number, so you will put it there. It's not necessary to fill that copy paste this, but it can be. It is always easier to see that way. And then we are going to go back in the plenary because we'll continue the discussion. We will see if we have done in the right way, and then we will continue with the next activity. Where you can find this. Okay, so in the platform, day number 3. Today, I make it visible so you can see everything from the day 3. And we are here. We are overviewing the book number 2, Employability Skills. Until the break, you will open this part here, and you will go to the Employment Skills Curriculum Framework. It is the same as well in the Russian language. You just need to go to scroll down. So you will open this document first, Employability Skills Curriculum Framework Puzzle, and you can find the same document that I showed to you previously. So within the group, just discuss what is missing and what part should be in the places that are empty in the document. Is it clear so far? Marta already, Salome, you have a question? Yes, please.
Yeah, just one question to be clear that which part is missing, we should find out in this document as well. Yes.
Yeah, in the document.
Parts are in the last page.
Yes, I will share again just to make sure that everyone is understanding.
In the blue line.
The blue ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super. Thank you.
So if you go down, this part is the part that should be placed somewhere. So the blue one should be placed in the white part or the part without color, and to be one of them. So just you can do that copy paste, and within the group you have to discuss. The discussion here is maybe the crucial, because through the discussion we are learning always more than just like presenting. So go through in the breakout rooms. Marta has created the rooms. One room will be Russian speaking room, and other rooms will be English speaking. So discuss, and then one of you can present, or you can do together in the plenum. Okay, no questions? No questions. Okay, let's try to solve this puzzle. Did you have time to complete everything?
No, I'm afraid. We just started.
Some of you yes, some no. Okay, let's try to see what we have done. I will share the screen with the puzzle, and I will ask some of you to share how did you feel this part. And for example, the first group can tell us for the first one, or in fact for the second one, and we will continue to see if we agree about our selection as well. Do you see the screen? Yeah, I believe yes. Yes. Okay. So for the first session, we have everything given and everything is complete. For the second session, we have the number and title, session number and title. We have the overall outcome, but what you have put it here in the third part about regarding the specific learning objectives. Do we have a volunteer who wants to share?
Ну, я могу зачитать.
Yes, please.
Можно, да?
Да.
Давайте, Светлана. Светлана, слышно?
Алло, слышно меня?
Сейчас, да. Давайте.
Участники могут провести анализ своих квалификаций, навыков и опыта, выделить квалификации, навыки и опыт, которые наиболее интересны работодателю, оформить их в четкое и лаконичное резюме.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't translate it like literally, but mostly it's about participants being able to discover their qualifications and to be able to form a very swift and nice CV in the end of this, by the end of this session.
Okay, thank you for this. Do we have another one who has different thing put here there?
Может, у кого-то другой ответ?
Ardita, maybe?
Yeah. Okay, I've put it there. Participants will be able to analyze reasons for people often ending up in the wrong job and plan and set goals for a new career, identify how other people's we know found jobs.
From which part did you take that? This from the second, yeah, from here.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. What about the others?
I have quite different one.
Okay.
So I will try to read it. Sorry. List the characteristics of the job that appeal to them. Describe the key skills employees will ask for in most jobs. Identify how their own skills match to a job that appeals to them.
Okay. Ardita, again, you have the hand rights, or it's from the previous?
From the previous.
Okay. So this is the correct answer. Participants will be able to list the characteristic of the job that appeals to them, describe the key skills to the employer, and identify how their own skills match to a job. So
mine was right one.
Yeah, I think that this. Okay, let's continue with the third one, recognizing skills for success in the workplace. What you have put it here? What's the overall outcome? Salome.
So participants recognize different skills for success in the workplace and gain a deeper understanding of the different facts of communication.
Yeah, that is the right one, because I'm seeing I have the key, the puzzle key. So yes, that is the correct one. I will share with you that as well. Okay. What about this part here about the specific learning objectives?
Do you want me to continue or
if you have, yes, please.
Yes,
and if we have someone that is not agreeing for this and have a different opinion, why it should be placed in other place, just share with us, please, as well.
I'm not sure about this one, but I will read it. Assist a range of transferable 21st century skills and values and why they are important. See the connection of their behavior to the way they are perceived by others, including employers, reflect on their skills and the best way to develop them.
That is correct as well. But yeah, what about ours? Do you think that is appropriate?
I have the same.
Done the same as well?
I have the same.
Salome, you have the same?
Yes.
Yeah, great. Okay, let's move on then in the fourth session about the rights and the responsibilities in the workplace. We have this part here missing about the overall outcome. So what is the overall outcome, Maka?
Well, this session reinforces the concept of rights as essential to human happiness and well-being at your workplace and stresses that a right corresponding responsibilities. Participants will learn about gender discrimination at work, how to become aware of it and how to challenge it.
Yes, that is a correct one as well.
Okay.
All others has the same for the rights and the responsibilities?
Yes.
Great. Let's go for the number. Which number is missing here? Stefan.
It was the most difficult one.
Yeah.
This is session number 5, my career planning and goal setting.
And what about the last part? The
specific learning objective is by the end of the sessions, participant will be able to analyze reasons for people often ending up in the wrong job, plan and set goals for a new career, and identify how other people we know found jobs.
That is great. That is the correct answer as well. Thank you, Stefan, for this. Let's move with the other job search, number 6. Bushra?
Yeah. Participants will discover more about where and how to find suitable jobs and internship.
Great, that is the correct answer as well. What about others? Did you feel like this, the same as Bushra?
Yes.
Yeah, great, Maka, thank you. Okay, let's move on with the CV and motivation letter writing. And after we complete this assignment, we will continue with the CV and motivation letter writing. So, okay, Maka?
Last part was missing, and I put in participants will be able to conduct a mapping of their qualifications, skills, and experiences, highlight qualifications, skills, and experiences an employer is most interested in, and format these into a clear and concise CV resume.
That is correct answer.
Thank you.
Great. Regarding to the number 8, session number 8 about the job interviewing, we have everything completed here, so you can see what are the objectives and what participant will be able to. We have the session number 9 about the identifying the challenges and solutions. I'm seeing only Maka so far raising her hand. Maka?
Participants will be able to describe common sources of unhappiness or conflict in the workplace, identify obstacles to our career paths, develop possible courses of action for those eventualities.
Great, excellent. So far, everything is going smoothly. Everyone has answered the same way? Put that part here? Great. And the last part, it is given, everything is here there. So picture in my future work, we have all the elements put here as well. Thank you for this. It was very nice, and you have done everything according to the key that I have, so everything was correct. But just also to share one information with you regarding to the answers of our when we are asking you a question or when we are putting you to solve something. At the end of the training, when we will be able to finish with everything, and we will be able to send you this part here. This is a key part maybe for you in order to have all the materials, all the resources for you. For example, you have this part here. You are not seeing in your platform, but you are seeing from my screen. For example, answer key. For all the quizzes that we have done so far with Marta and me, you have the answers for everything. So when you will go through the material, you will see the materials that, or the tasks that you have been assigned to do. You will find also the right answers in order to empower you with those answers as well. Okay. The next is about CV and motivation letter. Again, we will gonna work in the small groups, but you will have only to read and to see what is given there. So this part is about the session, I think it was session 7, yeah, CV and motivation letter writing. You have the book, and also in the platform, in the same page that you were so far in the Aflaton Partner platform, you will have to open the link there. In fact, this is what is gonna be opened. Just to go to day 3. Again, it's like it's a puzzle. Are you seeing my screen now?
We can see a presentation.
Only presentation. Sorry.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, probably you are seeing the CV platform.
Yes.
You have some of elements that every CV is suggested by the Aflaton that every CV should have. So you have the first part heading, education and qualification, employment, experience, achievements, additional skills, hobbies and interests, references, and optional extras. So this is something that is suggested to have in the core CV. And keep in mind that this is not like a professional CV. It's not maybe the same as your CV, but this is the CV that is something like a more common for the children who are finishing the education, and they have some key elements that they need to fill. In fact, it's not necessary to go in the groups for this activity, but just read this part and see if the things from the first part is matching with the second part here. So for example, if we are reading this part heading, do you think it is appropriate to stay here names of the employers, dates of employment, or where should they be? So this is like an individual work. Just analyze the CV that is in the platform, but as well, I will add the CV in the screen, sharing the screen with you. So just analyze, and what do you think? Are the second part in the right order here? Do you think that something can be or should be changed? Do you understand this this task specifically? So do in the heading should stay this part, name of the employers, dates, and employment. Do in the activity, education and qualification part here, you need to relate your achievements at work, what you have done. So just analyze this part, and then together we will see what are the right order.
So can we go to our separate rooms or no?
We are not going to go in groups, Marta. Individually, okay. Now we will just read, okay, and we will share our opinions about.
Okay.
So they just have to match then the headings with the description.
Yes.
Раздел резюме.
Stefan, an example, yes, an example, right? Luan, you can give them an example, for example.
For example, in the heading, you need to start your CV with your name, home address, email, and telephone number. And that is not here. If you see, it's not here. So you need to put this part here to be in the very beginning. So that's just to try to match those parts. So in the heading, it's logically to start your CV with your name, home address, email, and telephone number. What do you think about education and qualification? What should be stated here? Is this the right thing, or maybe you have to put?
Yeah, I already started to change the things, and I'm putting the right things. Is it correct now? Yeah. Or you're now asking, and we should answer it.
So are we going to go through it personally and then come back, or we just discuss right now?
Yeah, I'm asking the same.
Yeah, just personally analyze,
okay,
and then together in the group we will see one by one what is in the correct place and what is not.
Okay.
So this is personally, just read and think about that, where should be. Okay. I will start sharing the screen now with this part, and I'm going to put the correct answers or the correct match. So just compare, and we will going to discuss together if you have done in the right matter.
I did. I have done.
I believe that you are seeing my screen. So what's in the heading? Start your CV with your name, Jensila, yes, please, and Salome.
Start your CV with your name, home address, email, and telephone number. And I have also added optional extras. This can be a personal profile and career aim. This is usually at the top after your name and contact information.
Где ключ расположен?
You have put it optional extras in at the beginning.
Yes.
Okay, that can be also the way. Okay, we have I think Jensila, and then Salome.
Okay.
Yes,
Jensila?
I continue with the next one, education and qualification. Unless you have recently left school or college, only include your higher academic qualifications. Follow with any professional qualification, vocational qualifications, relevant training, and further relevant education achievements or certifications.
Thank you, Jensila. What about others? Have you put this in this place as well? Usually when we are doing the CVs, especially the people that are not very experienced in writing CVs, they are putting everything of education and qualification. So sometimes it's not necessary to have like a primary school, secondary school where you have finished. So only the higher academic qualification are like a more appropriate. Okay, I think we had.
And can I add something, Luan?
Yes, please.
And of course, it's good to add what's related to what we're applying for. So we might have had lots of studies or trainings and so on, but it's what's really closely related to it, besides what's higher.
Yeah, when you will open the book and see the session 7, that is the specific suggestion that sometimes it's not necessary to maybe like after several years of working, we have more experience, but not necessary to put everything there because it's not related to that specific work, and it's not like just to put everything there. Era, did you have something?
Yeah, yes, in the education and qualification, I put this can be a personal profile or career aim. This is usually at the top after the name and the contact information. As this is beside the heading, so the name, I put this one.
Okay.
So just maybe a qualification that reveals your profile, and the one that is placed here in the education and qualification. So unless you have recent left, I have put it in the additional skills.
Yeah, and for all others, this is something just that is only suggested by Aflaton, expert who created the curriculum. Nevertheless, there is no science behind writing a CV. So whenever you think it is appropriate for your personally, but always when you are teaching to the children or to the participants in the training, you need to give some guidelines. And yes, always, yeah, they can follow them, but it's not necessary, it's not mandatory, because that way all the CVs in the world will be the same if we are following something like strictly. Okay, so you will find this key answer with the answers in the resource kit as well, so you can compare. The idea is only to see that for every section we in the curriculum are suggesting something, are suggesting how to start, for example, the letter, what should be CV inside it, and not to forget something, because sometimes we are focused on doing something and we are forgetting maybe to put the mail there, or we are putting we forgot to put the telephone number, and we are having a perfect CV maybe, but forgetting some essentials. So this is like a checklist, so just to check if everything is mentioned in our CV. Same as this activity, we have also the next, it is about the CV, about the motivation letter or cover letter. So again, you can see the different examples that are given in the platform, and there are a lot of them in the platform and as well in the book. And you can see what are the key elements that a motivation letter should have, or the cover letter should have. I will share again screen with you. So the next one is about cover letter activity. Again, if you go to the platform, you will find the materials there, and you will see the different elements that cover letter should have. So we are still in the day 3. We are overviewing the book number 2. And we are having this part about the cover letter activity. So there is a suggestion, for example, here, if you open this document, there is a document about suggestions how and what motivation letter should have. Again, there are some elements there. So what motivator letter, like a checklist, what are the key elements that you should put in the letter? And you have this heading part, date, addressing the contact person or the manager. Why are you interested in this job? And there are suggestions how many paragraphs you need to write here. Examples of your strengths, again, in 1 or 2 paragraphs. Your ability about the interview, signature, and others technical information that are given by the Aflaton experts. So what and how long it's going to take, to be sure that there is no grammar mistakes. Don't repeat the CV. So the cover letter or motivation letter is not to repeat the things that you have put in the CV. To be focused on the topic, and to give real examples as much as possible. Again, all these instructions you have in the platform, and you have several examples of different motivation letters that you can read. And if you read there, you will be again empowered with different skills and different examples. So I will share only one just to see how it looks. But when you will work with your participants, you will have the chance to give them more examples. And again, the internet is like a huge resource. You can find a lot of examples of motivation letter in the internet, but sometimes they are not following the structure that is suggested by Aflaton in the Aflaton curriculum. So just go through the materials, and then you will equip with the skills and knowledge. And it is important to understand why is this order, and why, for example, it is important not to make some technical mistakes, because that is giving a wrong impression to the person who is reading your cover letter. As I mentioned, you have at least 3 examples here, and you can rely to them when you are writing the cover letter. We can do this example exercise together, so to create a motivation letter or cover letter, but all of you are experts and probably have the knowledge, but this is like a more to give you an idea about the motivation letters in general, the guidelines, and what you can share with your participants as well. Do you have any question for this part so far? If not, we are gonna open the last part, and this last part is about before the break. Last part is not the last for today. It's about the job interviewing. So for this session, we will need to have to go to in the book 2 again, and there is a session 8 named job interview. And we will try in next 10 minutes within the group to try to practice our interview skills. So you will have questions, and just to see how we can answer those questions. So I open this link, and again, this is only an exercise. So it's not just to go and to analyze everything. So just see what are the key questions in the interview that are usually asked by the managers, for example, when you go to the interview, and what you need to pay attention. So this is the document that you should see within the groups. Maybe Marta can create the groups and give maybe 10 minutes for this activity. So just analyze the questions. What can be the questions, and what is the maybe like a most appropriate response, or what to be focused when you are responding to this concrete answer. And those answers are taken from the different interviews that have been conducted. And this is like in general, something like a common interview question. So there are several of them. I think they were 13. Yeah. So you have 13 questions. Just analyze within the group and think what are something that maybe you should add or maybe you should change in the future. But this is only like a guideline. So they are just giving a suggestion how you should respond on, or in what you should focus. Sometimes you have also the suggestion what to avoid, for example. Can we try to go in the breakout rooms? After we came back, we won't have any specific discussion. We are just going to ask you about any suggestion that you have regarding to those questions. But yeah, this is more or less for you to see what are the key elements. So again, you need to go to the platform, and to the session number 8, you have the question there. I can share the screen again, just to make sure that we are in the same line. So again, overview of book 2, you will scroll down, and there is a part about the job interview, and this is the question chart that you need to open and to see. If you don't have any questions, then let's go in the breakout rooms and see you after 10 minutes. We had 26 people before breakout rooms, and now we have 28 people after breakout rooms. So something happened and we have 2 more people. Okay, did you have a chance to go through the this material, the document that we shared? And just shortly tell me, yeah, Maka, you can continue, but just shortly give me a feedback. What do you think? Did you find it useful?
We are assisting Nina to go to Russian speaking group, and so we had less time, but we managed to discuss some of the questions. But last one, if I'm not mixing our group member,
the last one.
Sophia was talking that she doesn't agree with the question 8, and I didn't manage to answer her. And with your permission, I share my approach to question 8. Actually, we had to discuss not questions but suppose answers. Did we? And but employee can ask anything he would like to ask. This question may come from the employers. So we should be ready for that as well. So I answered to Sophie, but she can disagree with me and can share now, because we didn't manage to discuss it in small group.
Yeah, you had a small less time to do that, but in general, just to overview the question that are given there. But what is the idea? This is only like a suggestion, but I also agree with Sophia. Sometimes some questions that are asked by our managers are like very not appropriate for us. Not all of us have the plans for the next 5 years or next 10 years. So even for tomorrow, maybe we don't have a plans, and we are not having everything clear in our mind. But yes, this is maybe we are not agree with this question, but just to be aware that this question can be asked from the manager, because this question is taken from the interviews that are conducted as well. So if this question is existing, just maybe it's better for us to be prepared for this kind of questions. And the other things, you will continue with the gender, for example, now with Marta, you have a lot of questions that can be asked by potential managers or other people that maybe are not suitable or maybe are even illegal to be asked. So during the session, when you are teaching about your rights and responsibilities, you will also be informed what are your rights and what kind of question can be asked to you and what is not allowed to be asked. For example, this is maybe sometimes related with when the young woman or women are going into interview. Some managers are asking, in my country, are you planning to be pregnant in the upcoming 2 years or 3 years? And that is not legal even to ask that question. But you don't know, because after the school, you will go just immediately to work, to ask for a work. And sometimes you are not aware that what can be asked and what not. So this is about that. So even if we don't agree personally now with some of the questions there, we need just to be aware that those questions can be arise. You can create your own answer for that, but just be aware that they can be asked to you. And as well, regarding to the rights, your rights, human rights in general, you also need to know what are the questions that cannot be asked by anyone in the workplace. Anyone else?
This question, it's a small comment that this question is not asked because of the expectation is that we might have exact plans for the next 5, but they learn our attitudes, our orientation towards our career goals and so on using this question. They also are aware that we may not, as a job seeker, have such a, exact plans for the next 5 years, but it is like a psychological question.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you.
But the values and so on and so on.
Yeah, but just to be aware that those questions can be asked. So just to make us ourselves prepared if we are going to the interview, but not ourselves, even our children, if we decide to when we are training them. Okay, we are like 5 minutes late for the break. Let's have the short break. Marta will tell us how much time we have for the break. But before that, if you have any question again regarding to this and the first part of the session, just feel free to ask.
Jamila, I
think... не вопрос, я просто... Да, я не вопрос, я просто хотела... Вы же спросили фидбэк, поэтому я хотела сказать, что вот как человек, который 10 лет проработал в HR в банке, да, мне показалось, что инструкция составлена очень грамотно. Мне понравилось, как правильно подсказать человеку, чтобы он правильно вел себя на интервью. Вот мы в группе не все успели обсудить, и у нас просто возникли вопросы по первому разделу, первому и второму разделу, да, что это схожие, и можно, да, здесь уже либо их как-то объединить, потому что вот как-то расскажите о себе, мы говорим об опыте, и второй вопрос, опишите свой опыт работы. Вот здесь у нас немножко возникли такие обсуждения, где мы подумали, что это все-таки такие похожие темы. А в целом мы считаем, что вот инструкция, она очень грамотно подготовлена. И с точки зрения бывшего HR, я считаю, что это очень хорошая помощь для интервью, когда проходит интервью. Поэтому спасибо.
So basically, she says, as she has experience of 10 years in HR, she says that the instructions that are given by Aflatun are quite well prepared. The only discussion that they had in the group, they didn't have enough time to go over every single question, but in the beginning, first two seem to be a little similar to each other, because the first one says, tell about yourself, which includes some of the experience in your work. And the second one says, tell us about your work experience, which is also very similar to the first question. So perhaps they could be merged or something like that. But other than that, she says that as an HR, it's a very well prepared instruction, and it can be a very good help for the students to get prepared for the interview.
Thank you, Jamila. Sorry, I didn't see your raised hand. In my screen, sometimes I'm seeing you up and then you are just moving around on my screen. So yeah, sorry for that. Yes, I totally agree with you. Just wants to mention that those questions are not by the order given, so they need to answer one by one. So the variety of this question can be different. So they can be similar, they can be the same question. We have took those questions from the different interviews and just put there. So sometimes it's tell me about yourself, tell me about your work experience, but this is in the same group of the questions. So the variety will exist for sure. Every manager is not following this Aflaton curriculum, so they are not going to ask the correct answer, but they are similar to this one. But totally agree with you that more or less they are like similar, some of them.
Or sometimes like when you ask them, tell us about yourself, they might not fully cover about their work experience per se that is particularly relevant to the job that they're applying for. So depending on the situation, then you can use both or either, because it's you who's going to be interviewing them, and you want to know specifically how they match with the experience and the job that they're applying for.
We have Ardita as well.
Yes, I wanted to add that this is, of course, like a general, in general used from different companies, but nowadays people are very creative and they go straightly to the point. Mm-hmm. For example, they have your CV and they don't need you to repeat everything what's written in the CV. They go and make, firstly, a provocative question. For example, you apply for, let's say, network administrator, and they ask you, what do you think about gender, whatever? A question that is not related to the job description. And the way you will answer the question will decide whether you will continue to have the interview or not. And I have heard some like from friends of mine that when they asked such a question, the person said, "Oh, I don't know what is this related to the question. I don't have to do anything with them." They said, "Okay, you can go. We don't need you." So yeah. They wanted someone that is willing to say that I don't have any idea, but I can search, or I am willing to learn it. So the way you answer the first question, provocative question, will decide whether you will continue to have the interview or not.
Thank you, Ardita, for sharing this. But, yeah, definitely, HR managers are using different tips and tricks to confuse and maybe to get their attention in a specific way. But that is also legitimate, so they can do that. But also we need to empower our students, our employees within this curriculum, how to answer to this question. And sharing those experiences always can help us. So you are sharing something that maybe it's not familiar for me, but for other participants as well can be like very useful. And yes. that is
but
why
it's very important to be open.
Yeah. Thank you, Ardita. Thank you very much. Okay. So I don't see any hands anymore. Marta, sorry for the time. So you have now 3 minutes now. Just kidding. Marta, tell us.
No. It's everything is okay. So I think we deserve for 10 minutes break to grab a coffee or tea and rest a bit because you've worked very hard, and then you can come back to our meeting room. So see you in 10 minutes. Oh.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. Woman, you're nice, sweet, fantastic. Big ship on the ocean, that's a big Titanic. Woman, you're nice, sweet, high energetic. Big ship on the ocean, that's a big Titanic. Move it.
Можно развернуть во весь экран или как? Нельзя.
Woman, you're physically fit, physically fit, physically fit. Woman, you're nice, sweet, fantastic. Big ship on the ocean, that's a big Titanic. Woman, you're nice and sweet, high energetic. Big ship on the ocean, that's a big Titanic. Woman, you're nice, sweet, fantastic. Big ship on the ocean, that's a big Titanic. Come on, I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it.
Great, great energizer. Thank you, Svetlana.
Вы можете меня перевести?
See, yes.
Давайте теперь успокоимся и переключим свой мозг. Я вас научу делать одно упражнение, называется пранаяма. Он помогает при всех разных условиях и успокоиться, и избавиться от страха, и переключиться на новое занятие. Для этого надо закрыть одну ноздрю вот этим пальчиком. Вы переводите, да?
Мне нужно, да, чтобы вы остановились, это сейчас, да, мне нужно успеть. Ага. Let's calm down a little bit now after this very active energizer. So basically, Svetlana, I'm sorry, she's going to teach us this practice called pranayama, and it helps to become more calm and get rid of your fears. So basically, you need to close one of your nostrils with this, with your thumb. Можете продолжить?
Теперь мы выдыхаем левой ноздрёй, делают девочки.
Then you exhale with your left nostril.
Мальчики делают с правой ноздри.
Okay, so ladies need to exhale from their left nostril, and
Они выдыхают.
men should exhale from their right nostril.
Мы выдыхаем и вдыхаем.
We
Выдохнули.
inhale and exhale.
Переставляем пальчики. Выдохнули.
Then we replace the thumbs.
Вдохнули.
Exhale. Inhale
Снова
again.
выдохнули.
Exhale again.
Но при этом мы сейчас еще закроем глазки
Now we're going to close our eyes as well.
и подышим
And
полсекундочки.
we'll breathe for a couple of seconds.
У нас сейчас воздушная тревога, и мне обязательно надо подышать.
She has this anxiety, so she has to breathe for a couple of seconds.
Можем открыть глазки.
You can open your eyes now.
Применяйте всегда, когда вы тревожитесь.
You can use this practice whenever you feel
Когда вы
anxious.
хотите переключить вид деятельности.
Whenever you want to change whatever you are doing.
Когда вы хотите других успокоить.
Whenever you want to calm someone else down as well.
Она дает очень большой результат соединения тела и нашей мыслительной деятельности.
It lets our body to get in connection with our minds.
Применяйте каждый день.
Use it every day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Svetlana. It was really nice. And I was a little bit scared that I will fall asleep during this, this exercise. Like I will go somewhere else and I will not be with you. But thank you very much for the very nice energizer and very relaxed time. Okay, so as Luan said, this part will be mostly connected with gender issues, and gender is an important discussion to prepare for it, so especially paying attention to the gender equity in the workplace. So now,
Excuse me, Marta.
Yes.
No translate.
Сейчас уже есть. Давайте, простите.
No translation. Okay. Okay, so you will have now the opportunity to begin and analyze how the gender roles affects us. So I will share with you my screen and show you what to do. As you can see, my PowerPoint, yes. Oh no, not this one. Sorry. In the next minutes, we will divide you for groups, as you can, as you know, that we are doing that very often. So you will be divided into groups and you will work in every group for some exercise. In each group, as you can see, the clock. The clock has 12 hours as our day. It has 24 hours. So please think in the group for every different hour, write down what men in your community are typically doing, and at the same time, what women in your community are typically doing. For example, at 1 hour, what are they doing? On second, third, and think about it in relation to the work. Okay? So please, in your groups, think about that. But first group will think about women and men from rural areas. Second group will think about women and men from urban areas. Group number 3, think of the older women and men. And 4 group, think of younger women and men. Each group will have their own group of women and men. So please think about that and think about this in relation to work. Okay? Do you have any questions? If not, please discuss it, and after that, please have someone from your group to present the whole presentation and discussion that you've got. Okay, we came back, probably everyone came back from the groups. Okay, so I will ask you to present what did you discuss during your room meeting, breakout room meeting. So what do you think what women and men are doing in, for example, rural areas during the whole day?
So let's start with the group 1. So our family lives in a rural area, in a village. So family with kids, in the morning, it's about 5 o'clock in the morning, the wife wakes up and she's busy with taking care of domestic animals,
hens and chickens and so on, and cows and so on, like in village areas, usually they do. And the husband is still sleeps. So all this takes 2 hours for the wife. So at about 7 o'clock, she wakes up children in order to, prepare them to go to school. So husband also wakes up at 7 o'clock. So he's taking care of himself. He just do the ordinary stuff, wash himself. So and 8 o'clock, whole family they have breakfast together. So mother, she prepares breakfast, everything she does. She prepares children for school and so on. So at about 9 o'clock, the both wife and husband, they are already in their working places. So wife, she's a teacher in the village school, and husband, he works in the village administration. So they work till 6 o'clock in the evening. So in the 6 o'clock they gather. So they come from the work, and the wife, she prepares, let's say, late dinner, and they have dinner together with, together. And then husband starts watching TV on football or wherever, news and so on. So he is relaxed. The same time, wife, she's again doing the same stuff, cleaning, washing, ironing, and cooking, and so on. And then she takes the children at 10 o'clock, or about 10 o'clock, she takes children to bed, so they prepares them to go to bed. And husband, he plays, we call nardi, I don't know how it's in English, it's like a play, like a chess or wherever. He plays with his neighbor, so they are enjoying themselves. And wife, she goes to bed at 12 o'clock in the midnight. This time, husband, he's already in the bed and he's sleeping. So from this, all this, you see that the wife is taking care of everything. At the same time, the husband is relaxing. Yeah, of course, he's working. He goes to every day to the job, but still, he's not doing anything. I don't know.
Okay, so we will have the discussion after all these presentations. Thank you, Eka. It's a very, very important presentation for us. I think we will please leave this picture in your heads, and then we will discuss it after each presentation. So thank you, Eka. It was like very full picture of this day. Okay, thanks. And now we would like to talk about women and men from urban areas, how they live, how the day look like. Who would like to present?
Okay, I will share the screen. We made this.
Okay.
Okay, can you see?
Oh, yes.
Sorry. Here.
Thank you.
Okay, so our group worked, and we can tell you that we start at 6 o'clock in the morning. When women are getting up, having coffee, making breakfast and lunch for kids at the same time. Men is just getting up and having prepared for having coffee, because at 7 he has his coffee. At the same time, women are preparing kids to get dressed. At 8 o'clock in the morning, They together are taking kids to kindergarten or school because they are family who have kids 2 or 3. At 9 o'clock, they are arriving at their jobs and starting to work. At 10 o'clock, men has some meeting, women has some interview or something that depends and is close to his or her job. So it's 11 and 12 o'clock, they are still at work and working. At 1 o'clock, they are having their lunch. Who has prepared? Woman. At 2 o'clock, they are still working. Men is working at 3 o'clock also, and women may have their gym. It can be on an ideal situation. At 4 o'clock, men are going to watch football match with their friends. Women are taking care of their kids. From 2 to 9, they are women are preparing dinner, washing dishes, clean house, and preparing clothes for tomorrow. Also, they can watch together movie, and women are plus ironing. So at the same time, men are sometimes they help children to make homework, having beer, and also watch movie together with their family. They then from 9 to 6 they are sleeping.
Okay,
Okay, that was our work.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
very huge picture of the whole family we can see. Okay, great, thank you, Saloma.
Thank you.
Now we would like to hear a presentation about older men and women somewhere in the world, how they live. Who would like to present? Group number 3.
Okay, I can go on.
Ardita, thank you.
Yes, we firstly we discussed that this group we are supposing that are retired people, since they are old, and we have to differentiate them as we made already the differences, like in urban and rural areas. In rural areas, they both wake up earlier than 8 o'clock, like 6 and 7, and they have coffee. Woman prepares breakfast, and they eat together. And man, maybe if he goes to after, if they have personal business and a small business, they go to work still, or they have their gardens. They work on their gardens or farming. And women, as in other groups, they clean, do laundry, and prepare lunch. So this is, and so we are supposing that they live alone. And in urban areas, they wake up later. Women, they have coffee together. Woman prepares breakfast. And they eat together. Man goes for a walk or meet friends, or they work if they have any personal small business. Women cleans, laundry, and talks on WhatsApp with family relatives. So this is.
This is the whole day?
No. We achieved to discuss till this time, not more.
Okay, it's a great picture too. We can see the differences between them. Okay, thank you. And now the last group. Thank you, Ardita, for the presentation. The last group, please present us younger women and men, how they have their one day of life, how it looked like. Natalia. wanted to present, or who? Group number.
I think I can go.
Stefan, thank you.
Yes. So we had a problem figuring out the differences between men and women, because at least in my country, young men and women don't really have differences in their daily routines. And we agreed that they go to school or work at 8, and then up until 1 p.m. they work or study. Then they have a lunch, and afterwards women would go to gym, whereas men would maybe prefer to go earlier when there's less people. Then women, we also figured out that it depends a lot on situation, because single men and women and couples really have different lives. So it's less about their age and more about the situation they're in. For example, single men and women would both go out, have a coffee, have a drink, go out and party. But in couples, women would take care of children and do the housework. But in younger couples, men also do those jobs. It really depends on place and on individual family. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you, Stefan. Thank you all for this presentation. I wanted to ask you, after all these pictures that you've presented, how do you feel about all these pictures that we have now in our heads?
I don't understand why women in rural areas choose men who mistreat them. I just don't understand.
Do you feel something more about these lives of these people? What do you feel, Salome?
Yes, if you asking the question which is leading us to the gender equality, so there will be some issues and some kind of problems which we don't have. For example, I am responsible, and I can say about my country in Georgia, but we have some challenges about the gender equality, especially when the time goes to the family responsibilities. In a working place, it could be more or less 55 and 45 gender equality, but in family we have to work on it, especially in rural areas, in villages and in high mountains. So it's quite interesting topic. So I remember when we have done it, like this exercise 5-6 years ago in one training, it was 24 hours of men and women. It was the same. It was quite different in my country. So now it's better, and I'm happy for it.
Great. Yes. Okay. Do you have? Do someone has a different opinion about it? It's like real picture of it, or someone said this is sad or not? Induni?
Yeah. And in Sri Lanka now, the gender role is the gender discrimination is somewhat minimizing. It is curving the difference. So the female and male share the responsibilities of rearing children and household work as well. In youngsters, we see this because many women are engaged in jobs, so they are not free to do everything in home. So both men and women share their responsibilities according to the time they have. Unlike earlier we had the same as the first group presentation. All the time the females were working and the males are relaxing and enjoying life. But now it is changing to a better version, and we are happy about it. Even the children understand that this should be changed, and they are in a better way.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Duni. Thank you very much. Salome, did you want to add something? Yeah.
Yes, I wanted just to add that as Salome mentioned, it was a different situation, for example, 5 or 6 years ago. And now also, if we will do this exercise with the young people, we will have the how to say, we will have different
Totally different
results.
picture.
So yeah, different results. So it depends to whom we will make and with whom we will do this exercise, because till now it will different with elder people and young people. So the results will be very interesting on both situations.
Yes. Stefan?
Yeah, so I think equality, gender equality, and generally equality is tied into prosperity in country. So, for example, my country went through many wars, and during the wars there wasn't really enough time or resources to care about equality. And only in recent years did equality start to actually, I wouldn't say blossom, but to get better. And generally economic situation is still bad. So until there is enough prosperity, I don't think we can have true equality.
Okay. Thanks for that voice. Luan, you wanted to add something?
Now I am in the role of the participant, because this is something that I work in my everyday life, the gender issues in general. And I just want to share some information according to one research that I have made recently. Worldwide, every 11 minutes, one woman is killed because it is a woman. So because of those roles in the society that we have. And I found those presentations, for example, now very good in terms of the reality. So reality is much worse from my perspective and according to the statistics. So if we analyze this training that we are having almost 3 hours, according to the statistic, almost 17 women are killed in the world because of their gender, because of their sex. So the situation, maybe we are working a lot, and awareness raising is like doing its job, but again, the violence against the woman and the roles that we are putting women in general are very bad, like a situation. As well, the situation is not good even in the European Union. So if you analyze the incomes, for example, for women and men and women, the differences are from 10 to 35%, even in the EU member countries. So, for example, today me and Marta are working together, and at the end of the day, me will get more money for this work. I will be more paid because I'm a man and Marta is a woman. So the idea is that, yes, there is through the history that we have done and we have moved forward a lot, but in general, the situation regarding to the gender issues in our society is very, very, very bad.
A very important voice and very important researches that you showed us. Yes, and Rosetta, what would you like to add to this point?
Well, I totally agree with what Luan said, and of course we have to pay a great attention to working much more on gender equality and so on. However, I'd like to go back to our presentations, and I'd like to say that this is a general perception of what happens, which is highly focused or based on the many years of experience of being patriarchal societies, having their rules and norms and so on, where it's a shame for a man to cook or clean the house and so on. But I'm happy to say that in Albania, and also I heard Georgia and other countries, the situation, and Stefan said that the situation has started to change, especially with young generations going to other countries, studying, living together with other people and so on. So roles have changed. So now we have many young, boys or men who cook, who clean the house, who take care of their kids, help kids with homework, schoolwork, and so on. So it's really good. We're seeing that change, but of course we have to work on all levels to change the situation, because it has to do with national policies being implemented as they're written and so on. We've got very good laws, but actually when it comes to implementation, there is a huge gap.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why we're here. Like, we're trainers, we work with teachers, so they educate young generations, and I think we should be hopeful for changing it.
Yes, and yes, and let us think about the Aflatun youth program participants. Let us imagine their hopes, their dreams, their passions about the different professions they want to join and the different workplace they would like to be in the future. Do you feel that this social expectation, how they what this social expectation do for these young people raised in such community for the future? What do you think? How can they create their own reality if they see people who are working like this?
Well, since I still have my head there raised,
yes.
I should have removed it.
Yes.
But of course, the society, the community we live in has a high impact on who we are, what we want to do, and how we can reach what we really aim at. So this is why we need a lot of awareness raising and having these positive models, role models there in the community, because we have youngsters who go to high school, then they have masters, even PhDs and so on, and then they stay in the city. So they do not go back there to serve as role models for young generation, but also changing the mindset in the community. It's challenging indeed, but I still say we are there to help and support as much as we can.
How we might prepare the Aflatun participants for this, from your perspective?
Marta, are you asking me?
Like a whole group.
Okay, I will just share one thing, and we're thinking, we don't know whether we're going to be able to do it, but having like summer camps or summer schools where you have organized the program based on these principles and new philosophies. So at least they get introduced to it, and then probably inviting some parents and some other community members, listening to them and having discussions, joint discussions, because that's the very beginning. You start discussing things, and why is that? What can we do? What would be better? And then this is how you prepare youngsters, but also bringing on board also other community members who have a high impact on what they are and what they want to be.
Okay, yeah, great. Era? Yes, Era, please.
I would also say that as the program of Afla Youth, on basis of that is the personal development of the youngsters and identification of the strengths, of their weaknesses, of their skills, let's say, and even topics about roles and responsibilities. The gender approach should also be based that even men and women have their own unique skills and weaknesses as well. And the stress should be from the facilitator to accept all the gender uniqueness. Because as a matter of fact, we are not the same in terms of skills, maybe in terms of knowledge, but we are the same in terms of our opportunities and rights. So the message should go to the youngsters that the environment that we create should provide the same opportunities and possibilities for each individual to grow. Mm-hmm. But this takes much effort in long term, just even it is as it is a cultural, let's say, factor, because we might spend with our students 1 hour, 2 hours for the modules, but in everyday life, there are many other factors and actors which let's say, not bring light to this approach that we teach them. So, one of the goals of the institutions, of all the partners that you have, should be that to collaborate with the governments, with the systems themselves. So, in order to influence the schools to have the same mindset.
Yeah.
This is my vision. So for maybe using Aflatown in our everyday work and in our programs, in order to influence a little bit the decision makers, our governments, because a lot is on their hands. So how the power to deliver and to implement things is very important in a country, in a community, in every structure of our community.
Yeah, this is so huge topic that we are discussing now. So thank you, Hera, for your voice. And now I would like to share with you a small piece of a video where we can see what can we do during our Aflatown for Youth program. What can we do as a teachers, as a facilitators? Please have a small video before we will finish our meeting.
Gender inequality is a profound injustice. It keeps millions of women around the world in poverty. Women are 1/2 of the world's population, yet we are often denied equal access to health, education, and political and economic participation. It's first and foremost a rights issue, but gender inequality also significantly damages a country's economic development.
What's that got to do with me? I'm just a teacher, not a politician.
Teachers have enormous power to promote gender equity by modeling positive behavior in the classroom. Teachers often lose sight of the fact that if they have 40 students working in the classroom, they're working with 40 individuals. And each of those 40 is unique and special, with their own talents and with their own learning needs, and with the potential to be successful and happy if permitted and helped to be so. However, instead of seeing diverse individuals, many teachers simply see 20 males and 20 females. And when teachers think of children only in terms of their gender, they start to make all sorts of assumptions about them, about what they like, what they're good at, and even what they should end up doing when they leave school.
I can promise you that neither me nor any of my colleagues ever go into a classroom intending to discriminate. So how does it happen? Maybe gender bias can be so deeply rooted within us that we don't even recognize it.
She's right, you know. Come with me and let's see some of the ways in which teachers may unintentionally promote gender bias. Listen, teachers often assign tasks along gender lines.
I need 4 strong boys to move the desks. Girls, sweep up the floor when the desks have been moved.
Teachers also often ask questions in a way that makes an unnecessary distinction between the sexes.
What do the boys think? And what do the girls think?
Why would you expect all the boys to have one answer and all the girls to have a different answer because of their gender? We are your students. You know us. We are individuals. Research shows that boys generally receive more questions than girls.
Who can answer that one? Marco.
Teachers often encourage students to believe that certain emotions are unacceptable for one gender.
Stop that loud laughter. It's not ladylike. Okay, we get it. We get it.
Now, how about giving us some advice to help us change our behavior?
Encourage both genders to recognize that their adult lives will probably include work, parenting, and housework. Make sure your expectations are the same for all your students. Both boys and girls can succeed at math, science, language, art, and sport. Actively integrate groups of students by making sure boys and girls sit together in mixed groups. Remember, when you ask a question, boys are more likely to call out or raise their hands to volunteer answers. Girls tend to spend a few seconds thinking quietly to themselves. So after you ask a question, allow 3 to 5 seconds before calling on a student to answer. This means both boys and girls will be ready to answer. Being aware of our own gender bias and amending our behavior isn't easy. It needs us to embark on a process of reflection and change. Why not try working through our gender bias checklist? Reflecting on its questions, you'll find it helpful. Never forget how much children learn from your example. By modeling gender equity, teachers can change the future of society into one that is fairer, more fulfilling, and more prosperous. Isn't that what we all want? What do you say, teachers?
We can do it!
Thank you, Luan, for sharing this video with us. Yes, it was very important element of our AFLA Youth Program to model our participants, to be a model somehow. So in our AFLATON platform, you can find Achieving Gender Inclusive Teaching, some kind of private reflection exercise that you can use during your trainings with teachers, because they need to be more connected with themselves, how they work, what do they do, if they are doing some kind of discussions that are not engageable for everyone. Okay, so the topic about topic connected with gender is a really crucial topic to address in the educational process. By incorporating discussion on gender and promoting gender equity in education, we can cultivate a more inclusive and society. Okay, thank you very much for all this discussion that we had. It was very deep and very important in this case. Tomorrow we will start our work with the third book that we have. So please be on the AFLATON platform ready tomorrow. And if we have another volunteer who would like to start a new day with Energizer, please tell us, raise a hand, who would like to do Energizer tomorrow. Oh, yes, Stefan, thank you. Okay, so tomorrow, Stefan will start our day, and yes, bravo. So thank you very much for the whole day, and tomorrow we will see at 9. Or if you have any questions, you can ask now or on the parking zone.
Maybe just to add something, that the book number 3 can be found in the day number
2.
Number 3. So if you go to this part assignment here, if you scroll down, you can find the book number 3, and it's good to just go through the book if you want to be more prepared for tomorrow, because we will be mainly focused on book number 3 tomorrow. So you can download, you can see what's inside, what are the topics, what are the sessions, and we can discuss tomorrow.
Okay, thank you very much for today. So see you at 10 to 9.
10 to 9. Okay.
10 to 9 or 9. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
See you. Bye, everyone. Bye.